Stein vandalizes a Bakken-Dakota-Access-LLC-Pipeline bulldozer. She vandalized it. She spray painted the blade, at least, of the bulldozer. And so, you know, in Jill Stein I trust. Jill, baby Jill. So on Tuesday, September 6, 2016, yesterday, Jill Stein, our Green New Deal savior, our anti-war, clean energy by 2030, pro-legalization of marijuana, anti-war on drugs, female version of Bernie Sanders, only she's more principled than Bernie, and Jill Stein is the only person who could save America, who can make America great for the first time. Yesterday, Jill Stein was videotaped spray painting the front blade of a bulldozer in a field in North Dakota. Jill Stein tagged that bulldozer's blade with the message, "I approve this message," in red spray paint. Jill Stein is rowdy, right? And she's vandalizing. What a criminal. So what was the message she approved of? She approved of a partial stopping of the Bakken pipeline construction that a federal judge had issued yesterday. The anti-Bakken-Dakota-Access-LLC-Pipeline protests took place on September 6, 2016 at 10:30 in the morning at a construction spot on County Road 35 and Highway 6, 2 miles east of Highway 1806, near the small hamlet of Cannonball, North Dakota, where the confluence of the Cannonball River and Missouri River meet in Owyhee Lake. And Lake Owyhee Lake is a large reservoir behind the Owyhee Dam on the Missouri River. It begins in central South Dakota and continues north into North Dakota. There were 200 protesters there at the Red Warrior protest camp. 2 protesters had attached themselves to the bulldozers. Now, Morton County Sheriff Kyle Kirchmeyer said that Jill Stein is going to face charges of trespassing and vandalism. Oh man, he's going to get her. He's going to show her. Oh no. Oh no. And you know what? Good. I hope he actually does it. There would be no better catalyst for Jill Stein's campaign than getting arrested for fighting for truth, justice, righteousness, and the Native American way. That'll bring some much needed publicity for her campaign, as well as shining a brighter light on the largest gathering of Native Americans in all of America's history. It'll also open up the gates of hell for Morton County Sheriff Kyle Kirchmeyer. And we'll also get to see if North Dakota's cops and jailers, if they're corrupt, and see how they treat those that they capture. I'm guessing that they're probably like a Boss Hogg and Roscoe P. Coltrane. I bet you Kyle Kirchmeyer is the Roscoe P. Coltrane of Morton County, North Dakota. I guess we'll find out. I also want to kind of mention that some of these articles were saying that Jill Stein allegedly spray painted, or that the authorities claim. No, Jill Stein spray painted it, okay? She spray painted that blade of that bulldozer with a can of red spray paint on camera. I think there was like, what, maybe 4 or 5 camera phones that were on her. She did it, obviously. It was on videotape, and it's available online for the world to see. So, are you kidding me? Do y'all not have eyes? Of course she did it, but it's like some reporters just need an authority to claim that something happened for it to be true, because that's how reporters work, right? They listen to the authority, they write their words down verbatim, and then they just assume anything that the authorities say is the whole truth, the complete truth, and nothing but the truth. So, the official government lie, of course the government, they would never lie. They've never lied about the Gulf of Tonkin incident in Vietnam. Nah, they wouldn't lie just to get us into a war that we don't need to be in. They wouldn't say that the Maine sunk or was bombed by the Spanish to get us into the Spanish-American War, which eventually made us into an empire. Or maybe that was actually the landing of Christopher Columbus. That was kind of imperialist, right? Have we stopped being imperialist? We've been kind of imperialist the whole time, right? So, but this time the authority actually did say something that was true. It's not alleged. It actually happened. A major presidential candidate tagged the Bulldozer. This is a national campaign. They're neck and neck. Even if you think that it's irrelevant, she can't win. She can take enough in order to make sure one of the other ones don't win. So she's significant in that regard. And she could, I think she can win the damn thing, frankly. Especially since she's the only one that actually gives a shit about the people. So, you know, who gives a shit? Who gives a flying fuck that she spray painted the blade of a bulldozer? The bulldozer can still work. Just now, the blade of the bulldozer looks a little bit prettier. And plus, it was tagged by an angel. It was kissed by a rose. Jill Stein just increased the eBay value of that bulldozer by 20%. So she's increased its market value. If anything, the Kyle Kirchmeyer should be happy and thanking Jill Stein. Get Donald Trump out there and get him to spray paint some shit too. You know, make all that equipment increase its value. So Jill Stein increased the eBay value of that bulldozer by 20%. You should be happy about it. And one point more importantly, graffiti, aka tagging, is one of the 4 elements of hip-hop. The 4 elements of hip-hop are b-boying, which is breakdancing, MCing, which is spitting, DJing, and graffiti. So this means that Jill Stein is hip-hop. She's hip-hop. And what was the specific message that Jill Stein approved? Well, there was a partial work stoppage injunction that the U.S. District Judge James Boasberg issued on Tuesday, yesterday. That's the message that she approved of. That injunction will temporarily halt construction between State Highway 1806 and 20 miles east of Lake Oahe, right? Oahe. I think it's Oahe. A-O-A-H-E. Oahe, right? And work west. But the work west of the highway would continue. So it's a mixed result for the Bakken-Pipeline protesters. The judge, James Boasberg, believed that the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers lacks jurisdiction on private land. So for the construction between State Highway 1806 and 20 miles east of Lake Oahe, the protesters were successful. But west of State Highway 1806, it was a failure, right? The construction will carry on west. And so I think it's a mixed result. The injunction granted by James Boasberg is different than the tribe's overall bigger goal that challenges federal regulators' decision to grant permits to the operators of the 4-state pipeline. So that decision, James Boasberg, the judge, is going to issue a full opinion on that lawsuit by the end of this Friday, 2 days from now. The reasons that Jill Stein is in solidarity with the Standing Rock Sioux and the many Native Americans that are there, and probably white, black, and brown people too, is for many reasons. But for one, she's in favor of solidarity. She's for the people. And the people are in, they're coming in masses. People trump property, labor trumps capital, and Native Americans trumps huge corporate conglomerates, especially big oil, who's owned by overly wealthy CEOs. Jill Stein is for the people. She's for solidarity. And there's plenty of love and solidarity there amongst the Standing Rock protesters. Jill Stein also believes that it's not okay to pollute our waters. Jill Stein believes that it's not okay to violate international laws for informed consent from indigenous peoples. You've got to get the indigenous peoples part of the decision making. You can't just bypass their decision. It's not okay in terms of putting our climate at risk, especially our water supply. Water is all too scarce. Water is life. It's our life force. Water is the first medicine. Water is absolutely vital for the earth, for the people, for their bodies, for the crops and animals. The Bakken-Dakota-Access-LLC-Pipeline the pipeline will carry 500,000 barrels of polluted blackened crude oil every year. 500,000 barrels. You're telling me that that'll never seep out to the water? They never have any accidents? Didn't they just have like a big accident, like killed 70 people just a couple years ago? So the Bakken-Dakota-Access-LLC, it happens all the time, actually, to be honest with you, but the Bakken-Dakota-Access-LLC-Pipeline is here to benefit the wealthy, the uber wealthy, big oil, who actually has a stranglehold on our national government and all their bourgeoisie investors. I can remember, and I'm feeling old, I'm going to date myself here, when gasoline was 99 cents in the 90s. And I'd be pissed off if it went over $1. I'd be like, $1.05? What the heck is going on? I am never going to that gas station ever again. That is not fair. Now it's between $2, $3, $3.50. Wouldn't it get close to $5 there a couple years ago? The big oil companies are only worried about maximizing profits, and they'll raise it as far and as high as the American people will tolerate. And so apparently we tolerate around $2. So Kelsey Warren, this is the CEO of Energy Transfer Partners, the construction company behind the Bakken-Dakota-Access-LLC-Pipeline. Good old, honorable, and respectable Kelsey Warren, a 61-year-old white male, American citizen, I think. So good old, honorable, respectable Kelsey Warren is worth $6.6 billion. Good old Kelsey Warren is one of the top 200 richest people in the United States. He's number 181. In 2010, Kelsey Warren bought a $3,500 acre ranch in Colorado for $46.5 million. Kelsey Warren also owns an 8,000 acre ranch near Cherokee, Texas. And Kelsey Warren owns a private island located near Roatan, Honduras. A private fucking island. A private fucking island. You know, because when a $46.5 million, 3,500 acre ranch in Colorado and an 8,000 acre ranch in Cherokee, Texas isn't enough, why not just go ahead and buy yourself a fucking private island? And that's not it. Kelsey Warren is married with one child, Clyde Warren, the namesake of the new Clyde Warren Park in downtown Dallas, Texas. So even his child has a park already named in his honor. And sometimes the Warren family goes around just laughing at the poor people and all the trailer parks and the ghetto and the homeless. They have themselves a laugh. It's just something fun that they do. Kelsey Warren, he also has a house in Preston Hollow, Dallas, Texas on an 8-acre estate on Park Lane valued at more than $25 million. So he's got an 8-acre estate. He's got, you know, a 3,500 acre ranch, 8,000 acre ranch, and a private island. It's not too much for you, I hope. I hope that's not, you're like, you know, mo money, mo problems. I'm sure he's got his, you know, poor guy. I'm sure, you know, something breaks. It's all him, right? It all falls on him. And what's his political leanings? Well, in 2015, Kelsey Warren donated $6 million to Governor Rick Perry's presidential campaign. Rick Perry, who wanted to get rid of the Departments of Commerce, Education, and what was that other one? Oh yeah, Energy. He wanted to get rid of the Department of Energy. The big fucking surprise there, right? Kelsey Warren is the CEO of Energy Transfer Partners, and that's the corporation that is building this pipeline. And isn't that a great name for a corporation? It's Energy Transfer Partners. Very forgettable. Just some bland, easy to forget name. Energy Transfer Partners. The ETP, eating total populations, I don't know. We need to come up with a nickname for this fucking company. How about the evil anti-environment corporation who hates Native American babies corporation? I don't know. That might be too long. Maybe one of you could help me out? Or not. I don't. Whatever. Just FYI. Energy Transfer Partners is a master limited partnership, which is an American legalese, a limited partnership that is publicly traded on an exchange qualifying under Section 7704 of the Internal Revenue Code. A master limited partnership combines the tax benefits of a limited partnership with the liquidity of publicly traded securities. Okay? The Master Limited Partnership mandate makes for bigger dividends for stockholders, greater profits, since it avoids the so-called double taxation of dividends. A Master Limited Partnership is a legal trick, so they don't have to pay all of their taxes. So, that's, you know, it's going to go help the Warren family, so that's great, right? They get to make a shit ton more money, rich get richer, and then, you know, they might pollute your damn water. And yeah, they'll take your land, eminent domain. Hey, it's a public service here. Hey, we're trying to help the public. So the Bakken crude oil and or maybe natural gas pipeline is, you know, coming through North Dakota, so that way North Dakota can experience some of the great earthquakes that Oklahoma is experiencing. And it's here to benefit the well-off at the expense of the poor and the land that we all live on and the water we all drink. So the oil companies